Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys had a good Monday and that you had a good weekend as well. So I can see you guys in the live chat room. Hello to you in there. We have Billy, Daisy, Tammy, Cindy, Debbie, Joseph, Paul, Charlie Rowe, Pink Thistle, Vera, Sue, Howard, Diamond Girl, and now it's gone crazy. So I'm not going to be able to keep up. But yeah, thank you for joining me tonight on this Tuesday evening, which actually things are cooling down, thankfully, in the UK, which is good. And of course, we're on our way to the end of the year, so it's starting to get darker earlier. So never mind, it seems like our summer has already come and gone. But anyway, it is what it is. We'll just have to start looking forward to Christmas, I guess, which, well, will be here probably quicker than I'm expecting. It always does happen that the years just roll by. But anyway, we will keep on going, well, with everything in this live stream, of course, but on the channel, keep on pushing forward, because this is another thing that I'm going to throw in there right at the beginning. We've gone up by another 1,000 subscribers, so thank you guys for subscribing, liking, commenting, hitting the notification bell and all that kind of stuff, because now we're up to 413,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for subscribing, watching the channel. It is very much appreciated, but like I said, we will keep on pushing forward. And let me get the names of my patrons up on screen, because they make this all possible in the first place, and their names go across the screen throughout Tuesday's live stream and Saturday's live stream. You know who you are. The only reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is because of these people at the bottom of the screen. So thank you guys so much for all of your support. So, Angela says, seat down, Phil, missing the top of your head. I think maybe Angela's got her screen a little bit wonky on her, maybe on her laptop or something like that, or a computer, or on, I don't know, a tablet or phone. But yeah, if you adjust the size of your screen to smaller, then you'll see that I am indeed on the screen. The top of my head is not getting cut off, at least not from what I can see. And I've got a feed here for the live stream, so I can see that it's all framed as it should be. So yeah, thank you for that. Christine says your head is there, so thank you for clarifying. And yeah, it seems like, yeah, everything's there. And Elaine says, I see the top of Phil's hair, including the greys. Yes, indeed. This is it. That, well, it's not too bad, but if you go back and look at the live streams where we've hit the, well, I was going to say when we've hit the likes goal, and then we have the FilJam, which is pretty much every time. So if you go back, I don't know how many live streams, but I've always got this grey tuft at the back. And it's very tempting just to, I don't know, spray it or something with, I don't know whether you can do that. Just spray it with brown colour, hair colour stuff. I don't know. I'm not an expert in colouring hair and doing all that kind of stuff. But yeah, whenever I'm bending down or looking at the guitar, you can see a little grey tuft. I guess because it's maybe against black, that's what doesn't help me. I need to maybe put some white foam in the background, and then I might get away with it. But anyway, yes, I guess that counts as hair talk for tonight. But let's move on. Let's get everything sorted and try and get the likes goal on screen, which we are aiming tonight for 490. Oh, Pam K36 says, yeah, the spray on hair from Ronco. I've never heard of that. I don't know whether that's available in the UK or not. But I guess if I suddenly looked down and my hair was then a brown colour, it would look really suspicious. You'll just know what I've done. I've just sprayed that bit. But does it come off in the shower? Like if you wet your hair, then is it like a permanent paint thing? It's not like a hair dye? I don't know. But anyway, I guess this is the reason that if you see me in real life, if it's an impersonator or if it's not, all you have to do is look at the back of my head, and then you'll be able to tell that it is the real me, unless somebody goes to a lot of effort to try and replicate my look. They'd have to get into extreme detail. So, right, yes, we're aiming for 490 likes tonight. So, yeah, I mean, it's still way up there for the likes goal tonight, if we do hit that goal, then we are going to be having a FilJam, as always, at the end of the live stream. And it's number 171 for tonight. So let me get the like comment up on screen to see where we are at. And we are at 265 likes so far. So if you could hit that thumbs up, it would be very much appreciated. And it means we're looking for 220, 215 more people to hit that thumbs up. So that's the hair and the maths all done at the beginning of the live stream, which is great. Right, let me also get up on screen the donations tab, because you don't have to donate. Just watching is great, but I can tell that some people have already donated from the super chat window, but also over on PayPal. So thank you guys for those. But yeah, you don't have to donate, and that goes for the live streams, or to have requests of future analysis videos. You don't have to pay for those either. Just send me the request, and yeah, I'll add it to the list. And this is something that's happening recently. I mean, we've had videos that I guess have been a little bit more controversial, where again, all I'm doing is stating, what's happening with a particular performance. And, going back, a couple of months or a few months from that Eagles video that I made. And then following on from that, I'm kind of losing track of the videos that I've done that a lot of people have watched. There's one when I was just comparing live performances of Dua Lipa. And yeah, and that was at was that at Glastonbury? I forget, but yeah, and comparing that with Cyndi Lauper's live performance, and I think a lot of people were interested in that, to see how the live performances varied between the current generation, or at least the current music industry, and then artists who are still literally performing fully live. So yeah, that one. And just recently, I'd say over the last maybe 3 or 4 days, I've received loads of emails about this. Well, I'm going to have to do a video on it next week. But it tends to happen that something happens, or something's released on YouTube, and there are loads of people that just think it's one thing, and then a few other people think it's another thing, and then they start arguing, and of course then they email me and say, can you please sort this out so that we know exactly what happened in this particular live performance. So yeah, I've got loads of emails, so I'll be doing another video next week on this particular subject, which I think again is going to be a potentially controversial one depending on the results, but because my ears are pretty good, I think I already know the results before even going through the analysis and the pitch monitoring software and the pitch graph and everything that I do, just to make it objective so that we can see that. But yeah, the last video that I did was the Alter Bridge one on Sunday, and that's had quite a few people watching it as well. But again, it's just an objective video and nothing against the band or anything like that. It was just pointing out exactly what has gone on, what has gone on with a particular live performance, and then the release of their official video and DVD and all that kind of stuff, and how things weren't quite the same. But anyway, yes, interesting stuff and lots of emails coming through. So let me just address the donations. Like I said, you don't have to donate, but for those that do, I think it's important that you know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below. So, Paul has donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, hooray, 413,000 subscribers. Everyone have fun tonight and spike those likes all y'all. That's a good idea from Paul. If you can hit that thumbs up, would be great. We're already closing in, to be fair, on 490, but it is a bit of an ask for a Tuesday night, but it'd be great if we get there, and then we'll have the jam. And by the way, there's the vote for tonight's cover video at the top of the live chat room. So again, this is probably the last time we're going to see Don't Slow Down, because it's lost out, I think, either 3 or 4 times in a row. So yeah, if that loses out again, then we'll move on to getting another one there. And seeing it'll just have 2 random ones again. I've just been keeping that one in because I think, well, maybe it might get votes at one point, but it hasn't quite, unfortunately. But it's just the same with the cover videos that it's always a 50-50 choice, and I'll just randomize it next time, probably. But anyway, we will see. At the moment, it's 6% behind in the vote. I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight currently has 56% of the votes. But anyway, you can do that. We'll watch that at the end, well, not at the end of the live stream, probably about 3/4 of the way through, to then leave time for the FilJam if we hit the goal. And tonight, the FilJam, let me just check this, is going to be at 7 minutes and 25 seconds. So, right, I'm going to have to leave enough time for that at the end of the live stream if we hit the goal. But yeah, if you could get a thumbs up, that would be great. Anyway, back into the donations. Thank you for that, Paul. Orlando donated $2 after Paul and says, hit the like button, folks. With lots of thumbs up. And then a hi, Paul. So thank you for that, Orlando. And I was just checking, because it's quite small on my screen, I was just checking that it says Paul and not Paulie, because of the, with an I, because from a distance it could look like that, but I think they're exclamation marks, so that reference to the Rocky movies that I think Orlando might have done before. But anyway, it's not that this time. Let me get into the PayPal window and mention that Nicole has donated £10. Thank you for that. And the message is, a warm greetings and pleasure to move forward with you. Stay safe. Kiss for you, Phil. And rock for all. So thank you for that, Nicole. And Steve has donated £5, so thank you for that, Steve. And the message is, what was the secret chord that David played in the Bible, and why was it secret? I heard it had something to do with the devil's chord. So thank you for that, Steve. And I'm not much of a reader. I haven't read many books, and the Bible is one of those. So, yeah, I don't know what the secret chord was, but if it's anything to do with the devil's chord, then, yeah, that would have been the flattened fifth, which I've explained, I think on a live stream, but in other videos as well, because it's... I think there was one... Yeah, I can remember mentioning this on a live stream, because there's one video that I did where that particular... Oh, I almost got which analysis video it was there. Was it Pretty Ballerina or something like that? Anyway, there was the flattened fifth that they kept on going to in that. So, yeah. But that's the devil's chord. So it sounds a little bit discordant, and it sounds, if you keep on with that note, it sounds like it wants to go to the fifth again all the time, so you get this uneasy kind of feeling. And it's flattened fifth or raised fourth is how it is also referred to as. So yeah, that's the devil's chord. But yeah, as for what's going on in the Bible, I do not know. But thank you for that, Steve. And Tammy has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi, Phil. Congratulations on hitting 413,000 subscribers. How is your arm doing? So thank you for that. And we haven't had an arm update in a while. Oh, and Billy says, yes, Pretty Ballerina by Left Bank. So it was indeed that analysis video that I was mentioning, that change, that note, the flattened fifth, raised fourth. So thank you for that clarification, that my memory, even though there's thousands of analysis videos rattling around in there, it's good that I remembered which one it was. Thank you, for that, Tammy. The message about how my arm is doing, it's not too bad at the moment. So what happened was, I went to have a scan, and then the scan, they had a look through it, and they saw that there was damage to the ligament and the tendon, which I think I mentioned, so they could see kind of the scar tissue or something, or that it wasn't quite fully healed yet. So yeah, it's good to know that I have two things going on, which is the ligament at the front, which is kind of at the end of the bicep, and then I've got the tendon, which is underneath kind of here. But I think pretty much at the moment, the only issues that I'm having are just the ligament. The tendon feels like it's pretty much there, or just for normal use. I now don't feel it underneath here where I used to, but sometimes, so what I'm doing is I do physio every day, but sometimes, because the physio said because it's called golfer's elbow, or at least it was for this tendon down here, the physio told me to use golf as the physio. So what I've got is a golf club handle that I can attach to an elastic band, and once you kind of fix the elastic band somewhere, you kind of anchor it, then I simulate like the pressure of a golf swing kind of going in that direction, but with resistance. So it's like a constant resistance at the point of almost having a straightened arm and kind of pushing against that. So that's what I'm using as physio, but as well as I'm still doing all the other physio exercises pretty much every day. But if I push the boat out and do a bit of physio hitting a golf ball, then what I do is have maybe a day or 2 days after that to see how the ligament is, because it's always the ligament, the tendon seems to be fine. It's always the ligament now that will tell me whether it was too much or whether it was okay. So if it was too much, then the ligament is sensitive to the touch. All I need to do, I know exactly where it is. It's there. That's where I press in. And if I've done too much, it's sensitive for maybe 2 or 3 days and then dies down again. But if I've done not too much and it's okay, then the next day and a couple of days afterwards, I don't get the sensitivity. So this is I mean, it was good to have the scan, because now it knows that, or I know, or it's good to know exactly what it is, that it's 2 issues that I'm trying to work my way through. So this is it, that when I might have done something to aggravate the tendon rather than the ligament, and then my arm would feel a bit funny. I think, oh no, what have I done there? But now knowing it's 2 separate things, it means that I'm pretty confident now that the tendon is a lot stronger than it was, because it's not really getting, I don't know the word to describe it, but it's not getting inflamed or it's not getting aggravated. So that's all fine. But yeah, the ligament on the top, and this is the thing about trying to recover from ligament damage and tendon damage at the same time. It always seems to be the case that when I injure myself, I can't just injure one thing. I've got to do 2 things at once. It's like when I got COVID and I got flu at the same time. Whenever I either get ill or get injured, I have to do it double as much. So yeah, the ligament and the tendon, it's good to know that they're separate things. But the problem with trying to recover from that, you think that, oh, right, what I'll do is I'll just rest. But that never, I've had this for like 3 years now, and maybe just getting over a little bit longer than 3 years. So the amount of time it's taken to start to get a little bit stronger, this is the ridiculous thing, that you can always go past a threshold of doing too much. So it's like you take 1 step forwards, and then you might do a little bit too much, so then you take 2 steps back. So then you've got to build it up slowly again to get back to where you were. And then you might, on that path, do a little bit too much, so you're constantly going backwards. So this is why it's so difficult to judge. And I think you've got to have either a tendon or a ligament injury to know what they're like. That you've got to do the optimum amount of exercise, but without doing too much. So that's what's really difficult to judge. So this is why, yeah, I'm still doing the physio and gradually doing a little bit more each time with, kind of simulating the golf thing and, trying to build it up. But I would say that it's where I am now. I'm just going to skip this advert, but where I am now is kind of the best it's been, because I've been obviously building up just enough, and I haven't yet, fingers crossed, stepped over to doing too much. And I think the next step for me, which I might start this week, is do a tiny bit of resistance work, such as maybe bicep curls. And I know that it's going to be a tiny amount of weight that I'm going to be using, probably under 4.5 kilos, because it's just getting that arm to move and not doing too much, because I know what will happen if I did any more than that. I'd take a step backwards. So yeah, it's all about being patient. But the good thing is that the arm is doing quite well, and it's definitely a lot better than it was. But sadly, you can't rush tendons or ligaments, especially when there's 2 with problems at the same time. And then the good thing is that the physio said that if I had had the scan earlier, it doesn't mean that I would have been able to recover a lot more quickly. She said because the scan shows that there's still damage, and this is maybe 2 or 3 months ago, because she said that there's still damage. So it means that throughout the 3 years that it's been, it has been getting better. And if I did have the scan maybe a year ago, all that it would have shown is that there was more damage. So it was still always going to take the same amount of time, but it's just waiting for it to sort itself out. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll keep going in the right direction, and it'll be interesting to see where I am in another year's time, because yeah, with 3 years of it's you kind of make peace with the fact that your arm doesn't feel normal. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it feeling more normal, which it has more recently started to feel a little bit like that. So yeah, definitely a lot better now. But anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. But yeah, not at the level of working out or building muscle like I used to do. But hopefully that'll return at some point. Vera has donated £14.61. Thank you for that, Vera. And the message is, hello, Phil. I may or may not be here tonight. My little dust hound. Oh, how do you say that? Anyway, Pippa, it's a dog, but I think I've just said it all wrong, is in critical condition, suffering from acute pancreatitis. I still wanted to say congratulations on your subscriber count of 413,000. You are growing your channel so fast. Great job. Great guy. Hugs, Vera. So thank you for that, Vera. And yeah, I hope Pippa pulls through and everything goes well with that. But thank you for that donation. And I'm just going to... Oh, there's another one from Debbie that's just come through, so thank you for that, Debbie. And that's a £10 donation. The message is, hi Phil, congrats on 413,000 subscribers. How do you think the copyright laws should pertain to rap music, as they sometimes use parts of songs within their song? You are amazing. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And, well, it's exactly the same laws no matter which genre it is. It doesn't matter about rap music or anything like that. It's like Black Eyed Peas, that they used to use loads of samples in their songs. So what happens there is the owner of that song, or the copyright owner of that piece of music, gets their royalties. They are paid, and that's how it works. And the same for rap. So yeah, I know that rap music uses a lot of sampled songs and sampled music, and if you just type on YouTube, you'll be amazed at how many rap songs are using great riffs and great bits of songs from maybe 50, 60 years ago, way back in the day, but just riffs that were great and hooky. So of course, if you can get that in your song, it's going to make it sell a lot more. And then they obviously rap over the top. But yeah, it's exactly the same laws. It doesn't make any difference. So yeah, it doesn't really matter how I think the copyright laws should pertain to rap music. It's just, I think they should pertain exactly the same way to all music, and they do. So yeah, there's no exceptions made for different genres. Marge has donated £2.20. Thank you for that, Marge. The message is, the tribute bands are popular where I live. Besides the royalties they for the use of the music, do the artists share, get paid for the use of their name? Thank you. So thank you for that. And I mean, no, they're not going to get paid for the use of their name, but they might have. This is the other thing, that you have some tribute acts that are official tribute acts. So it's all figured out with the actual artist or their copyright owners, or just their estate, if that's the way that it's working, if they've passed on. So yeah, it's sometimes you get an official tribute act, and then I remember actually there was a Tina Turner tribute act. The Tina Turner tried to stop from working because she was so good, I assume. But yeah, that's something that made news here in the UK many years ago. But yeah, for tribute bands, it's one thing, having an agreement with the official people, copyright owners, estate, all that kind of stuff. But there might be tribute bands that are just playing and nobody really knows that they're playing. And this is another thing about venues as well, being registered venues for live music, and something that we have here, the PRS, Performing Rights Society, who look after all of the royalties that cover bands, for example, generate for the owners of the songs that they are playing within their set, and that's all sorted out with PRS. But that venue that they're playing at has to be registered. So if somebody just turns up at a barbecue and starts playing somebody else's songs, obviously there's no way to really police that. You have to be doing it at a registered venue. So there we go. And this is where, if somebody was filming that particular set, or the person was filming themselves at a barbecue playing lots of different songs, and then they uploaded it to YouTube, and then they started getting ad revenue from that, that's where it starts to become a problem, because you're playing lots of other people's songs and now you're receiving money. Once you start receiving money, that's where you've now crossed the line of it now potentially being something that they would look into, depending on how many views you get. If you start getting millions of views and you're taking the ad revenue for these other people's songs, then they might have a problem. And I know that there are huge YouTube channels who do this, who record themselves playing like a set or busking, and they're playing loads of other people's songs, but they're just not getting any claims because it's busking and you've got all of that other ambient noise going on and people walking around and maybe cars and all that kind of stuff. So the algorithm doesn't pick it up that you're playing maybe 10 or 15 or 20 songs written by other people, but then you're taking millions of views worth of ad revenue, which would be thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars or even tens of thousands from the ad revenue of you doing busking or something like that. So that's where it's a little bit I've said before about these channels that just film themselves busking. It's from a law perspective, it's a little bit borderline because the algorithm can't really pick that up, and that's what it relies on. And then when somebody does a cover video and then registers that cover as their own original work and then claim other people's covers of that song, then it gets even more complicated, as you guys know from the recent video that I did, which again, that's another video that got a lot of views, the scam and fraud that's going on YouTube at the moment. So this is it. It's crossing that line of once you start receiving money, that's where it's now potentially illegal. So thank you for that, Marge. And Liz has donated £25, so thank you for that, Liz. And the message is, hi Phil, you may have already talked about this recently, but I'm a new-ish patron. Do you still work on your own music? Also, people were talking about their upcoming travels in the chat. Do you have any fun travel plans? Best, Beth. So thank you for that, Beth. And with my original music, I spent 6 months, 8 months, something like that, recording my own album. And once I'd got that done, I then got it up on the internet for people to be able to buy it. And then I was just messaging loads of people. We're talking about I don't know how many years ago now, quite a lot of years ago, but that was my focus, was to get my album finished, and because I was doing it all myself, get it finished and just up on my website. And because I do everything myself, it means that I'm then doing the marketing, and at that time I was sending off t-shirts and sending off the CDs, and I'm still sending off the CDs myself. So now that was even spending 6 to 8 months on making an album, or even say, for example, just writing a song, it might take you 4 weeks, 6 weeks, couple of months, if you're doing all the production yourself, which I would be doing. So it's just too much time at the moment. Everything that I've got going on with YouTube and future projects and side projects that I'm currently working on as well. The music, or my own music, for the moment is just going to take a back seat. And it is something that I might get back to in the future, but at the moment things are just so crazy busy that I haven't got time to do anything but just keep up with everything that's going on. And realistically, taking 6 to 8 months off isn't something that I can do, as I've mentioned about YouTube and the algorithm. As soon as you miss a video, it then just kind of puts you almost, if you imagine like as a sporting example, it puts you on the bench. So it doesn't tell people about your videos anymore, even subscribers. So this is it, that you got to, unfortunately, you are a bit of a slave to the algorithm on YouTube, that you can't really afford to miss any videos. And if you do miss a video, it means that it doesn't tell people about your videos, which means you don't get the same views as you normally would do, which means you get less traffic going through your other websites, such as my website, and that's where my album is, and merchandise sales and all this kind of stuff. It has, it's like a domino effect that, well, obviously if you get less through flow, if you start getting, tens of thousands of less people looking at your merchandise, looking at your music and buying things, then obviously that affects everything, because then you think, right, so it's now a bit of a strain thinking, right, am I going to be able to afford this bill or that bill every month? So this is why I say that the people at the bottom of my screen are the foundation of everything that I do, because Patreon is great because it's reliable. From your support, it's a reliable income every month that supports me and allows me to do this. So unfortunately, it's great in order to have that support, but it doesn't cover everything like rent and all the bills that I have every month, but it's a nice amount to at least help towards that. So if I didn't have that, then it would be a lot more difficult, and like I said, it's the foundation of everything. So I wouldn't be able to do as much as I can do now. So this is it, that I have the foundation there, but in order to make up the rest of the income for paying bills and rent and all that kind of stuff, then I've got to keep the through flow going through my YouTube channel. But it is what it is, and I don't mind doing it. It's a lot of work, but it's what I wanted to do from probably my late teen years. I wanted to do something with music rather than having to, work at a fish counter or the supermarket, which is something that I almost did, but then another job came up of painting and decorating, so I did that. Or I also worked at a pizza place washing, literally doing the whole restaurant. There's 2 floors of restaurant, and I was doing all the washing up, of all the plates, and so these pasta dishes where the pasta and the sauce was burnt on, so you're trying to scrape it off, and then they didn't have that many of those dishes, so they'd always come back and say, "Oh, Phil, we need more of those dishes, so hurry up with it." And it's always really hot in the kitchen, and the sink was at like knee level. So after, I think it was 6 or 8 hours of doing that without a break, because this was back in the day where you just worked as much as you could to get as much money as possible. After that amount of time, you couldn't stand up straight, or at least you had to approach it gradually standing up straight. Maybe take 5 minutes to gradually get your back back to where it should be. So anyway, back since then, I think I always thought that it would be nice to do something in music. So not complaining at all. So anyway, thank you for that, Beth. And I haven't had a holiday in, I don't know, I can't remember. So again, this is it, that if I haven't got time to have 6 to 8 months off, I haven't really got time to take a day off. So everything is still going. My days off are Monday and Thursday, but those are admin days, so that's when I try to catch up with all of the emails and orders, the CD orders that I'm still sending out. So thank you for that, Beth. And Adam has sent £100, so thank you, Adam, for that very kind donation. And I did mention Adam in the last video, and the message is, thanks for the Alter Bridge video, watching live tonight. Thank you for tuning in live. And this is I mentioned this at the beginning of the live stream, that video's had quite a lot of views, but again, it's one of those videos that it might be controversial, with fans of Alter Bridge and all that kind of stuff, but again, it's an objective analysis video, and that's the thing about them, is that no matter how you feel about it, there's no way that you can question, or it's I don't know, when people discuss things or they argue about things, it's because generally it'll be opinions. But then once you've got actual factual data that you're showing on screen and it is objective, then yeah, it is then how you emotionally deal with that. Because I'm sure that a lot of people watching that, I don't know, it was different because the singer, Miles Kennedy, he said that, or at least somebody said that he would, give up singing if he ever had to use pitch correction or auto tune or anything like that. So yeah, this is it, to then find out that it was pitch corrected. Again, I think people in the circle might not be being honest with each other, whereas they think they are. So the producer might be lying to the singer, and the singer thinks that he's just doing everything naturally, but then the producer's pitch correcting him, and then the producer tells other people that, oh no, there's no pitch correction on it, knowing that he's done it. So yeah, it's just a problem with them. All I can do is just show exactly what's happened. But anyway, yeah, thank you for that, Adam. And Tina has donated £18.31. Thank you for that, Tina. And the message is support. And that is it. The single word of support. So thank you for that, Tina. And Sue has donated £15. Thank you for that, Sue. And the message is, we tried our best for Don't Slow Down, but majority rules and I accept defeat. Luckily, we can watch it anytime we want. Your version is stunning. So thank you for that. And yeah, it'll be on YouTube somewhere. And Karen has donated £6.58. So thank you for that, Karen. The message is, hi Phil, congrats on hitting 413,000 subscribers. I'm just wondering, do you remember the English singer John Waite who sang Missing You? I just remembered him because this will sound strange. I'm eating an apple with reduced fat peanut butter. John said he hated peanut butter, but because I'm lucky if I can breathe after eating that. Remembering that, is peanut butter not a favourite in the UK? Anyway, thanks for all you do and for being you. Cheers, Karen. Okay, thank you for that. A bit random, but no, peanut butter is very popular here. So yeah, we have it in the UK quite regularly. Liz has donated £25 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, I did dishes in a pizza place too when I waitressed during college and law school. So I can relate to the pasta dishes with stuck on sauce. So thank you for that. And yeah, I wasn't that high up to even be a waiter or but my sister worked as a waitress, so that's I think how I got the job in the first place is that I was allowed to work there, but eventually I quit the job because it was ridiculous. Because the person that owned it started out with one owner, and then another owner took over who was just an absolute joke of a boss. Because his view was, say for example, I went in, I started at 5, something like that, for the evening. So I started at 5. And I'm supposed to end at midnight. So that's 7 hours of washing stuff, washing dishes. So over that 7 hours, I would do that. And then when it got to midnight, because I was 16, it meant that my dad would come to pick me up. And it's midnight, so it's late. So I then finish work, get in the car, go home. But the next week, I think, I turned up and my boss said, oh, you're not working tonight. And I said, oh, what? Why not? It's 5 o'clock, I need you to come. He said, yeah, because you didn't finish the dishes last time. And I said, well, yeah, but I finished at 12, so that's when I left. He says, no, you leave when you finish the dishes. So now it's no longer you're employed from 5 till 12. It's you're employed from 5 until potentially no time in the future that we can determine, but you're still going to get the same amount of money no matter how many hours you work. You might work for 39 hours, but I'm only going to pay you for the 7. So yeah, I quit that job because that was his point of view, that he thought that that's legal, that that's okay, that you can employ somebody and they finish when they finish regardless of how long that takes, and you only pay them for 7 hours. Yeah, so anyway, there you go. So I quit that job because it wasn't really worth it. So anyway, and the thing is, quite rightly, my dad would be waiting outside saying, well, come on, what's going on? Why is it so late? And then, I'd say, oh no, I have to stay here until I finished all the dishes. And I should have said to him, you're the owner, so you employ me to do it until a certain time. If there's any more, that's your responsibility. Obviously, I was only 16, so I couldn't talk like that. But now, with hindsight, as an older person, that's what I would have told my younger self to do. To say, it's not my problem. You employ people for a certain amount of time, and then when they go home, they go home. Anything else that's left over, that's your problem because you bought the business, you moron. Maybe leave out that last part, but that's very much my thoughts on it now. It's ridiculous looking back. Anyway, thank you, Orlando, as well, for £5 donation over on PayPal. And the message is, 2 questions from Ginny White. Would you ever want to be an advocate for the rights of musical artists regarding theft and things like plagiarism? Would you go in front of Parliament and speak on behalf of music artists? Would you ever sign off on a movie based on your song? Percy Johnson. So thank you for that. First of all, if people wanted to hear from me for any reason, then I wouldn't be against that. And something that I have thought recently is that with the stuff that I do on YouTube, with my analysis videos and the pitch graph and analysing things and analysing pitch, I mean, it is so precise. And I was trying to think that, well, what else? If you're analysing somebody's voice, which is obviously the main thing that I'm doing when I use the pitch monitoring software, if you're analysing somebody's voice, how could you analyse it in more detail than looking at their pitch and their vocal cord vibrations? And even looking at waveforms, like somebody was a music technician, I think they describe themselves as, and they've been studying waveforms for years, and they said, the reason, and this is on the Celine Dion video that I made, they said the reason the waveforms look the same is because she's singing the same song and it's the same singer. And I should know because I've been working with waveforms for X amount of years, and even that person didn't understand what we are looking at. We're not looking at waveforms. We're looking at pitch on a pitch graph that is plotted, every kind of millisecond on a graph. So, and the only way to replicate that twice is for it to be the same audio, because a singer cannot match their pitch millisecond by millisecond, because they're not thinking about their vocal cord vibrations. They're thinking about the end result, which is the sound, which will always vary. So, that's what I've been thinking about. If somebody said to me, right, can you, well, I've shown it with my videos, proving if somebody's miming, or if somebody's not really singing live and miming along to a pre-recorded track, all that kind of stuff. And if you've got the pre-recorded track, of course it'll match up perfectly, and that's how you know that they're miming. But also using pitch correction and auto-tune, and like with that Alter Bridge video, showing where the pitch correction has been applied and where it hasn't been applied. So if there were a particular case or something that they wanted me to analyze, or show them exactly what was going on for whatever reason, then I could do that. I haven't got a problem with doing that, because it's just all objective data. So whatever they needed to know, I'd be able to produce that. But again, this is it. There's some people that, again, don't really understand it. They say, oh, what qualifications do you have? Where did you study? And the problem is that I've made this, like the way that I'm analysing voices, I don't think anyone else is doing it. So the method that I use, I know is infallible, that you can repeat the results over and over and over again, and it's objective, and it's just going to tell you what we're looking at. But because I'm doing it, it's like, well, where do you go to study reading pitch graphs that analyze pitch compared to A440 standard pitch, standard tuning? Where do you go to study that? If you were going on a music course, you'd be learning to read music. If you were going on a music course about production, they're not teaching people how to read pitch graphs. They're looking at waveforms. So yes, it's an entirely different thing. I don't know. Where you would learn to do what I've done or what I can do, other than all of my, they'd have to live my life and start producing age 19 and do that for maybe 20 odd years and do the thousands of analysis videos and use the pitch monitoring software and I guess be able to hear, this is another thing, hear pitch correction and auto tune so that you immediately think, oh well, this sounds like it's pitch corrected, so then look into it and then find that it is. So being able to hear it is a big advantage. But again, how do you hear it? I don't know. I just know that I can. So the people that say, where did you study? It's like, you can't study this, unfortunately. But it is what it is, as they say. So thank you for that, Orlando. And in terms of signing off on a movie, if I saw the plot or the script, whatever they were doing, obviously I'd need a good idea of that, but I wouldn't have a problem with that. Thank you for that, Orlando. And Karen has donated £2.20. So thank you for that, Karen. And the message is, hi Phil, your dishwasher story sounds like a possible Phil Toon idea to me, especially with your saying "you moron" at the end. Laugh out loud. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. And it wouldn't really be music related, but there have been many other non-music related stories that could go in a whole nother series of real life stories. Thank you, Lynn, as well, who has donated £54.93. So thank you for that. With this message, Phil, Judge Judy would say, I don't care what you believe. So thank you for that. And she would say, I don't care what you think. When people say, she stole my laptop from my house. And then Judge Judy says, well, where's the proof? And they said, well, I think she did. And obviously Judge Judy, I don't know, she probably loses her patience quite a lot. But she said, well, why do you think that? How have you come to that conclusion? Have you seen a video? Have you got somebody, an eyewitness that saw it? And they said, well, no, but I was out and she's got a key to my house. So I think that she went and she took it. So all of this stuff that, what people think, what they believe, what their opinion is. That's all outside of what the facts are. So, thankfully with the technology that now exists, I can do that with my videos. And the other thing is, again, isolating vocals and applying that to a pitch graph and all that kind of stuff. It's a bit of a unique process in order to get it all together to then show on screen exactly what was going on. But sometimes I make a video and I don't know. I was going to say it's surprising how detailed looking at something in relation to pitch on a pitch graph, how detailed that is. That you can absolutely objectively show that two lines are matching up. And that was on the Alter Bridge video where I recorded myself just holding a note, and I did it into my phone and I did it into this microphone because it picked up at the same time. And then I restarted my pitch monitoring software and played the note, now not singing it live, out of reference speakers, which is, effectively what's going to be happening at a live gig. You've got somebody who is singing and then somebody's recording it on their phone if they've, turned up live to watch it. So when it's now coming out of the speakers, because imagine I'm the singer, I'm singing into this microphone that is live on the night. It's coming out of the speakers. So when I then record the pitch out of the speakers, in that video, I matched up how the lines looked to what would have been the singing and then what would have been coming out of the speakers at the live performance. And they are absolutely identical with how they go over the top of each other. So when I say it's surprising how accurate it is and how detailed it is, I don't know whether... I always say it's like a vocal fingerprint. And the more I do it, the more it seems that varied, that you're looking at something that is as unique as a fingerprint. You know, when you're looking at two audio files next to each other, or even just two vocal performances, you know, they will look, if they're two separate vocal performances, they're going to look totally different to each other, especially when you start zooming in and looking that, you know, you can see that they are nowhere near following over the top of each other because of all of these unique vocal cord vibrations going on. But anyway, look, I can see there have been other donations in the super chat window. Thank you guys for these. And I can see that, you know, to use a YouTube or Instagram phrase, we have smashed the likes. We're aiming for 490 and we've hit 533. So thank you guys for getting us to that total, which means we're going to be busting out the guitar pretty soon, actually, for the jam. Number 171. Right, let's bring this to a close for the cover video. And just while we're waiting for that to go through, I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight is the winner for tonight. But Amir has donated $2. Thank you for that. And that's Amir's first super chat donation. And the message says, "Hey you," with the guy turning around and waving. So thank you for that. And Stinger B has donated $10. So thank you for that. The message is, in the late 1980s, a raging debate was Debbie Gibson versus Tiffany. Would be fun to watch you take a look back and compare their performances on signature ballads, Lost in Your Eyes and Could Have Been. So thank you for that. And Amir donated $2 again. Thank you for that. And that's straight up donation. Orlando says, when it rains, it pours. Get that arm strong again, with a $2 donation. So thank you for that. And yes, indeed, that's the plan. But yeah, when you're building up tendons and ligaments, it's exactly the opposite to, you know, resistance training of, you know, doing, you know, even kind of 8 to 10 reps of a particular weight, and then the next week, you know, you either do more reps or just increase the weight a little bit. Yeah, I guess it is like that, but you're doing 30 reps of a really light weight, and all you're really doing is getting to the point of just, you know, burning out the muscle so that you're kind of getting that tendon and ligament to get used to that very light weight. And then, yeah, the next week you might try and do 35 reps, and then you'll increase the weight a little bit so that you can maybe do 30 reps with, well, I don't know, maybe a kilogram more. So yeah, it's a very long process, but it's just that eventually, after about 6 months, then hopefully we'll be back to maybe doing something that's a little bit more, yeah, resistance based, or at least starting to be able to build up the muscle a little bit more, rather than just building up tendons, you know, because yeah, so many people I think take, and I used to take for granted, ligaments and tendons. You know, I would do, you know, 6 to 8 reps and do, you know, really heavy sets of, you know, biceps and triceps, and I'd be doing that, you know, year in, year out, not even worrying about my tendons and my ligaments, because I was just feeling it in the muscle. You know, you feel the lactic acid and the burn and all that kind of stuff. But then, yeah, once you start feeling it in a ligament or a tendon, it is totally different sensation, especially when, yeah, you feel it all the time just doing anything, which thankfully I don't now. But yeah, when I first kind of injured it, it would just be a constant thing that was always there. But thank you for that, Orlando. Right, let's jump into this cover video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock!
I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. I keep looking for something I can't get. But broken hearts lie all around me, and I don't see an easy way to get out of this. The diary sits by the bedside table. The curtains are closed. The Cats in a cradle. Who'd have thought that a boy like me could come to this? Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been some kind of kiss. I should've walked away. I should've walked away. Is there any just cause for feeling like this? On the surface, I'm a name on the list. I try to be discreet, but then blow it again. I've lost and found is my final mistake. She's loving by proxy, no give and no take. 'Cause I've been real to fantasy one too many times. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been some kind of kiss. I should've walked away. I should've walked away. It was a long, hard night. She made it easy, she made it feel right. But now it's over, the moment is gone. I follow my hands, not my head. I know I was wrong. I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been some kind of kiss. I should've walked away. I should've walked away.
And there we have it. That was my version of I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight, the Cutting Crew classic, of course. Thank you guys for voting for that as the cover video for tonight and for requesting it in the first place over on Patreon. So Diamond Girl has donated $3 in the super chat window. Thank you for that. And it's the Pear Person doing a thumbs up. So moving over into the PayPal window, there has been a donation from Joe. Oh, for £20. Thank you for that, Joe. This is our long message. Going back to the discussion about royalties and licensing, I have a piece on Bandcamp that is a recording of my arrangement of 2 Pink Floyd songs. It's available for free. I don't charge for it, and I do note it was written by Pink Floyd, arranged by me. And so I'm wondering, am I supposed to have licensed that from Roger Waters? For example, I always thought that if you don't have the performance available for profit, you don't charge to download it, or you don't play it at a venue that charges admission, you don't have to pay royalties. Your thoughts? So thank you for that, Joe. And I mean, it depends. If you're not making any money from it, that's the point. Once you start making money, generally that's where everything comes into play, where you've got to have a license, because you obviously are making money from somebody else's work. So if you're doing something, I just want to read again exactly what you have. I have a piece on Bandcamp that is a recording of my arrangement of 2 Pink Floyd songs. It's available for free. I don't charge for it. So on Bandcamp, I don't know how it works, because I just have my music on my website and Amazon and iTunes. So I don't know how it works on Bandcamp, whether people pay to access that or not, or whether it's a free service. If people have to pay, like Spotify, for example, where people pay every month, and this is the stupid thing about Spotify, sometimes they say, oh, get a month free. So it means that, everybody that is being listened to for that free month is every musician is getting ripped off because somebody's listening to your music for free for 4 weeks, and then they just cancel their subscription, and they might have recorded your song, so I'll take that for free. Thank you very much. But anyway, I don't know how it works on Bandcamp, but if it's something that people are paying for every month, then it could fall into that category of, even if you're not making any money from it, people are paying money to access that on Bandcamp. So I mean, that might more be Bandcamp's problem than your problem, because if it went as far as a court case, you'd say, look, yes, I've done that, but here are my records to show that and it would show up on Bandcamp that you've received 0 revenue, but Bandcamp have received X amount in subscriptions from people. So I don't know. Joe says Bandcamp is free to access. So if it's free, I would just class that as under the cover category. If you're arranging songs yourself, and it's. If it were to be investigated for copyright, or if somebody wanted to come along and claim it, you'd say, well, what are you claiming? Because there's no ad revenue, that nothing has happened. So if they say, oh, you can't, I mean, they could say, we don't want you to use our song for this free purpose. So some people might say that their argument could be, I suppose, playing devil's advocate, they could say your arrangement of our songs is so similar to our release anyway that people could record your version and then use that and listen to it, but they should have bought the original. So, but again, you could say, well, because it isn't the original, it means it has been transformed. So therefore, you could argue that it's potentially a fair use of rearranging a song. But this is it. That if it was investigated, I don't think there are much worse things going on than that. Where as soon as people are making money, that's where it's now going to be in their interest to investigate, not for doing something free on a free website. So anyway, thank you for that, Joe. And Corrine has donated £3.66. So thank you for that, Corrine. And there's that's just a straight up donation without a message. So and just going back to Joe's point. So if, like, for example, with one of my songs, if somebody remixed them or kind of did something with them, but it was my original song, it was still my song. If they released that on Bandcamp, personally, I wouldn't have a problem with that, because if it's a free service, it's free. The person isn't kind of using my music to try and make money. But if they released their remix on YouTube, for example, or whatever they've done, they might master a song differently. So if they release that on YouTube, that, if it is my song, it will still sound like my song. So it means that there would be a copyright claim made on that video on YouTube, because YouTube is not a free service when you're talking about ad revenue and watching adverts. That's kind of how YouTube works. So if that was then uploaded to a different platform where money is now in the equation, then it'll get copyright claimed. So it means that still you'll be covered, because then that's YouTube's algorithm that's going to be doing that, because if you are using that original song, it'll get content ID claimed. So anyway, yes. John has donated $4.99 in the super chat window. Thank you for that. John, we're going to have to get into the FilJam. I just noticed the time is 10 past midnight. Turn on the microphone. I'm just going to address this. John says, just discovered your channel recently with the Dua Lipa Cyndi Lauper video. Outstanding. Who is your favourite band? Thank you for that, John. And my favourite band, a winger, probably. I've got lots of bands that I like, but yeah, going to my my 1980s influences. Well, technically 1989, 1990, and when we're talking about winger, so yeah, they're a band that I like a lot. That's probably my favourite, or that I've listened to most throughout my lifetime. So yeah, thank you for that, John. Right, that's on. This is zoomed out. This is going to be this is quite a long one for tonight. The FilJam. Let me click on that.
Architecture.
Skip the advert. At least make it quiet. Right. This is wow. This is grimy, psychedelic, Afro funk backing track, guitar jam track, and then in brackets F sharp minor / 78.3 beats per minute for you tempo fanatics. And this is from Now You Shred backing / jam tracks on YouTube, and that's with the U in capital letters. Right, I'm just gonna let this play through because it's going to be a long one. Let me know if you can let me know if you can hear this. A bit quiet. Should we start clean with this? Advert! Skip. Something's happening. Okay, so you guys can hear it, which is good. Let's go into the same thing again. Is this going to go around again? Okay, should we go a little bit dirty, see what happens? How long's left of this? Oh, 40 seconds! Is it going to fade out? Maybe sudden ending? Hey! It was a kind of... It had an ending to it. It wasn't a fade out, so that was quite good. There we go. That was 7.5 minutes worth of grimy, psychedelic, Afro funk backing track. It's definitely the first one we've had of that description. And then guitar jam track in brackets F sharp minor / 78.3 beats per minute from Now You Shred backing / jam tracks. Yeah, so thank you, Joe, for sending that my way. So that was FilJam. Turn off the microphone for the guitar. That was FilJam number 171. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and getting us to that target of 490. I can see that we've hit 606 likes, which is amazing for a Tuesday night live stream. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Now, if you are tuning in now, we need for you guys to turn up on Saturday, because we're going for a new record of likes on Saturday, and it's in and around, I don't know, 565 or 570, something like that. So yeah, we'll need every single person that turned up tonight and hit that thumbs up to turn up then as well. That would be great. So yeah, thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up. And let me just have a little look into the PayPal window. We had another donation. This is from Catherine, who's donated £8.79. So thank you for that. And the message is, thanks for the great videos. And thank you for that donation and the kind words. Sue has donated $4.99. And Orlando donated before that $2, saying a very soulful FilJam. So thank you for that. And Sue said, grimy, psychedelic funk for the win. So good. So thank you for that, Sue. That's a donation of $4.99. And yeah, it's not, obviously it's not really a genre that I play or have played in the past, but there you go. That it is whatever that is. But this is the point, that whatever pops up, we'll just try and play along and see what happens. So Orlando's donated $5 again, says, take care everyone, I will see everyone next Tuesday night. I will not be here on Saturday. Rock. So thank you for that. Right, all that's left for me to say is try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live, and have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock.